We've waited for it, we've asked for it, and here it is. The combat of Hogwarts Legacy in its full glory. I gotta say, I am very impressed. Not to say the least.
The combat is so good! It's so freaking good!
First thoughts, it looks quick, flawless, and pretty complex. This is the first time a combat like this will be featured in a Harry Potter game. But my question is, will this combat stand out on its own among other contemporary games with advanced combat mechanics? Let's find out. First, I want to talk more about that complexity. There's a great variety of moves and ways you can battle the enemy here. You can yank them from the ledges, throw barrels or rocks at them, smash them on the ground, etc. And this complexity comes from a huge list of spells that are up for our disposal. In the progression of the game, we will be learning many different spells from classes, library books, and other students, and then we will be able to use those spells against wizards, goblins, trolls, and other dangerous corrupted creatures. And in combat, it looks like we won't be only limited to defensive and offensive spells. We will be able to use some of the basic spells too, which means that our arsenal of different spells, or moves in terms of gaming language, will be enormous. Now, the question is, how do you utilize all of those different spells during the combat without interruptions? And developer's solution for this was combinations, or combos for short. To break it down a little bit, a combo is a set of actions performed in a sequence, usually with strict timing limitations, that produces a cohesive series of hits, which yields a significant benefit or advantage. Typically, the opponent is unable or almost unable to block or otherwise avoid the following hits in the sequence. Combos are usually used in fighting games, however, many current action games have implemented some simplified combo mechanics, like in Marvel's Spider-Man, where, for example, if you press the square button, you do a punch. But then if you hit the square button 4 times in a row, you do a punch, 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 and then an extra punchy punch, which is the most simple hit combo. And obviously, you don't always have to start your sequence with a punch. It could also be a kick or uppercut, but then what you follow up with determines a specific combo. And similarly here, during this duel, we start off with a mobilicorpus, I believe, which lifts our opponent in the air, and then we follow up with what I think is series of stupefies, then finish with an extra stupefy, which knocks out the opponent. We can see similar variations in the gameplay trailer where we start off with a specific spell, and then there's a small pause where we can follow up with a series of either the same spell, or we can combine multiple other spells that become one big combo. Although, combos are not the only approach during battles, as we will be facing multiple enemies, and all of them are going to be attacking simultaneously. We'll have to block, dodge, counterattack, and manage our focus between all of the opponents and make sure we get rid of any distraction in case we want to finish off a single enemy by performing a series of spells on them. Because if we receive a blow, it will interrupt our combo. The enemy will recover and we'll have to start over. And that, I believe, is the most fun part of it. Having lots of enemies around you and having to use everything you've got to destroy every single one of them as soon as possible and in the most spectacular way. But in case you don't want to go all wands ablaze and prefer a more strategic approach, you can do that too, as in Hogwarts Legacy, there will be different playstyles. And that will be mostly determined by the talents and skills you choose to upgrade and develop. Want to be a stealthy killer? Then learn and upgrade your camouflage abilities. Want to grow an army of plants? To smash a goblin's head or pop your enemy's eardrums? You can do that too by developing your herbology skills. You can also brew different potions that can increase your power or defense. And that's probably my most favorite part of the combat, that it's very customizable. Like, if you're not so great at dodging and casting spells super fast, you can choose a different, more strategic approach. You choose the wizard you want to be in Hogwarts Legacy, and your arsenal of talents and abilities determine how you want to take down your enemies. Which brings us to the next part, finishes. When an enemy has received multiple blows and has their life bar at or less than 20%, an option will appear to perform a finish, which is usually an uninterrupted cinematic move or visualization of you defeating that one enemy. And as confirmed in the gameplay trailer, Hogwarts Legacy will have various finishes available to you, like this one here. The type of finish that you could use on an enemy usually depends either on the weapon you're currently using or on the position you are in relation to the enemy. Whether you are at a distance, above, below, or behind the enemy will depend on the type of finish you may have. Here, perhaps, the usage of a specific spell will probably determine the finish type. Now, this isn't the only uninterrupted way you could defeat an enemy. As said in the trailer, you can even use the mysterious, powerful magic your professors do not understand to obliterate your strongest foes, which I believe is the ancient magic. That's very powerful, and only we, our main character, can control it. By the way, I will be soon making an updated version of a video about ancient magic, so make sure you're subscribed if you don't want to miss it. But basically, this ancient magic is going to be used as special moves during combat, and we most likely won't be able to use it infinitely, like there will be some sort of a power buildup for every ancient magic spell. Now I wonder if the unforgivable spells are going to be used as special moves too, because technically those are very difficult and powerful spells. By the way, there's a debate sparkled on my previous video about unforgivable curses, and we're trying to figure out what kind of damage we're gonna have on, say, big bosses when we use Avada Kedavra. Is it going to be one-hit kill? If so, that would make it kinda too easy, even though that would probably be more towards the end of our campaign. But I feel like even though we know that Avada Kedavra is an insta-kill in the lore, that may or may not work exactly like that in Hogwarts Legacy. Because at the end of the day, this is a video game. Even the developers said themselves that they had to make certain decisions that are not 100% canonical or real, because this is an interpretation of the Wizarding World in a video game format. Take it as you will, but basically, what they're saying is that, according to the books, a single hit of Stupefy will knock off your enemy unconscious for a brief period, but in the game environment, it will take multiple hits of that spell to achieve the same goal. So, with that being said, there is a chance that Avada Kedavra won't be a single lethal hit. It might be a massive one, and it will kill small guys easily, but it won't kill the boss right away. Unless Avada Kedavra would only become available once the enemy's life bar would be at least 50%. That's just my speculation. But regardless, it looks like Hogwarts Legacy is going to have a very fun and engaging combat that suits both new and regular players with different styles and approaches. So far, it hits 3 most important factors for me. It looks good, it works well, and it's fun. And to answer this video's question, I believe it fits perfectly alongside the current-gen video games across all the platforms. But only time will tell if it stands out as one of the best. Thanks for watching.